Anytime a government gets this upside down, I mean, like in 20 out of the last 20 cases, when you have this much debt and you're running a negative, you're running a deficit of say 10 or 11% or more. We're not there yet, but we will be with this downturn. You effectively, you're guaranteed that you're either going to go bankrupt and default, or you're going to have to inflate it away. And in both cases they're the same thing. I mean, what I think will happen is I think they will basically have to go to yield curve control. I mean, Japan has already done it. Yield curve control means that they'll say, okay, these bonds, we're not letting them go any higher than 3.5%, because if they did, that would be a problem. What that means is anybody who wants to sell us your bonds for a 3.5% yield, we'll buy them. And eventually the bond market's going to look at the Fed and go, you know what? Sold to you. You can have all of them. And so the Fed balance sheet, which is now about $9 trillion, it's going to go to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's all just money out of thin air that they've created, or credit, I should say, out of thin air that they've created, put on the bank balance sheet. So, and at that point, everybody, I think, comes to the conclusion that they can't ever stop. And so remember that money's a collective delusion, in the sense that money has value because we all agree it has value. I mean, in the U.S. case, it's because we have a military and a big country, and we're productive, and we got 200-year history and theoretical rule of law, blah blah blah, which has all gotten very debased. But still, there's a lot of resiliency there, and so people think the dollar has value. But it's not beyond the realm of imagination that eventually everyone could come to the conclusion that the U.S. government and the U.S. dollar, they're not credit worthy. They're just not credit worthy, and so people will eventually get to the point where they say, I've got to protect myself, and that's the rush. That's where everyone makes that's the change. So it's a psychological phenomenon. It's people have to come to the view that their dollars aren't going to hold any value, and they want out. And when that occurs, it's all over. It's all over for the dollar, and we'll have to do a monetary reset, and we will. That's what will happen next. We'll probably do the right thing after everything else has been tried. We'll reset to a sound money standard. Hopefully, it'll be a Bitcoin standard. It might be. They might try gold in the interim because of the history of gold, and all the boomers believe in gold. But or it could be a basket of commodities. There are a lot of ways of doing it. But we'll have to go back to a sound money standard, because this unsound money has effectively ruined the financial world, and the event we're about to experience is going to be worse than what we saw in 2008 by an order of magnitude, and it's probably going to be worse than what they saw in 29. So it's not a great situation, to be honest with you. They've painted us into a corner, and or they've painted themselves into a corner, and we're all going to suffer as a result of their stupidity.